This is a cup holder, and it fits in the rear of the Ford Maverick for the rear seats. Now, it appears to be a very flimsy piece of plastic, because it is. The story behind this cup holder is interesting because it doesn't come with the car when you buy it. This was 3D printed afterwards. This is just one of the reasons why the Ford Maverick is such a cool vehicle. Now, although Ford qualifies the Maverick as a compact truck, there's nothing really truck about it. I mean, even this 4.6 foot long bed, yes, 4.6 feet, isn't separated from the cab. I mean, yes, you are seeing a seam here, but that's because of the door. As a matter of fact, underneath this pickup truck body, it's actually a car platform. This is Ford's C2 architecture, which is shared with the Bronco Sport, the Escape, and the Ford Focus sold in Europe. That's right, underneath this Maverick is essentially a compact car. But I don't care. I still really want one. Come with me, we'll go for a drive, and I'll tell you why the Maverick is one of the most desirable vehicles I've driven this year. Being a base XL Maverick means I don't have a lot of equipment in this vehicle, but I love reviewing these base models because it's always interesting to see what you are getting for the cheapest, most affordable vehicle. Remember, this Maverick costs just under $30,000. Now, in this day and age, $30,000 is cheap. That's about the price of a Honda Civic. But with the Maverick, you're getting a tiny little pickup truck. So the presentation is very basic Ford in the sense you have a lot of hard plastics here and there. It does feel of low quality. I mean, you can sense where Ford tried to cut costs as much as possible to allow the price to be as low as possible. But honestly, it's not that bad. Yes, the surfaces are hard, but there are nice design cues in the Maverick that I find absolutely adorable, especially the door cards. Look at the way they're designed. They have witty storage solutions, a very deep pocket here rearward, and very tall sections to put water bottles or other kind of junk you want to throw inside the doors. I also have a pretty deep center console. It's not very wide, not very long, but it's a nice big rectangle. I mean, it's deep enough to put a large bottle in there. Here up the front, I have a tray for my phone. I don't have wireless charging in this version, but it's available in higher trim levels. I have two other cubbies here as well, and the two cup holders. So quite a lot of storage solutions in the Maverick. Now, this one has another 3D printed feature. It's this strange compartment right here that fits right in this socket. So I have a large socket to just throw more junk once again. I can 3D print another one, which I don't know exactly what this does. I guess it allows me to put like pencils or pens and stuff like that. But this is an example of the kind of storage solutions you can create with your own Maverick. And then on the top right here, I have another tiny compartment where I can throw more junk once again. So at least it was thought out for people who own pickup trucks in the sense that they carry a lot of gear with them, a lot of toys, a lot of accessories, and there's room in the Maverick to do so. Back to the hard plastics, what I also appreciate is that they have a nice tough feeling to them, very robust, and that's also quite handy in a vehicle that'll be used for outdoor activities or for light duty work. It is, however, interesting to see the kind of features Ford didn't put in a base Maverick, but also the features that it did put. For instance, I have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity, but I still have a physical key. When was the last time you saw that on a brand new car in 2022? Interesting. This thing is also absent of cruise control, which, I mean, I get it. It's a feature that probably costs a certain amount of money on the assembly line, and Ford was able to save a certain amount of money to reduce the price. But a cruise control, really? I mean, that kind of feature was available in Japanese cars back in the 1980s. As for the rest, it's very straightforward. I have digital readouts that look like they're analog. So it's basically like a combination of both. I have a real arrow with a screen behind it. It looks nice and clean. There's not too much information. I have my gas mileage here on the top, and here on the left, it tells me when the vehicle is running on electric or on gasoline propulsion. And finally, this infotainment system, tiny little screen. It's so cute, but it works well. It responds frankly quickly. This is a last generation sync system. The new Fords, like the Ford Mustang Mach-E, for instance, have a more modern interface, but this is still good enough. I mean, I can still get basic things done, and I have some physical controls right here as well for tuning, for volume, or for skipping from one track to the next. So that's handy, especially during winter when you're wearing a pair of gloves. Same thing for the HVAC controls. I have large physical knobs right here with buttons, and and 2 USB ports to plug in my phone. So I have everything I need in a Maverick. Sure, I'm missing some basic features. I do wish this thing had cruise control and perhaps heated seats. I mean, I drove this thing last winter and it was freezing outside. It was like minus 40 and I didn't have heated seats, and that was kind of a bummer. So this is what the rear passenger room looks like in the Ford Maverick, with the front seat set up for a 6-foot tall person like myself. So as you can see, it's a bit tight in the leg area. It's not very wide neither. I don't recommend seating 3 adults back here. 2 adults will be fine. Children, no problem. I do have massive headroom, however, thanks to the shape of the cab. And look, I got these little cup holders I talked to you about earlier. They're right here. I can remove them or put them back here in their slot. And even if this is a base XL Maverick, I still have 2 USB ports out the rear and a 120 volt power outlet. Look at that. I'm happy to be driving the base model XL version of the Maverick, because the promise with this vehicle is to bring back small, simple, and affordable pickup trucks. I mean, nowadays, trucks are super expensive. You guys probably remember my Ford Ranger review I did about a year ago on this channel. That's what I was complaining about, that people aren't necessarily buying mid-size trucks for their price, because when they're well equipped, they're about the same price as a full size. So although the Maverick can sticker up to nearly $40,000, if you can control yourself, if you can avoid piling on too many options, you'll stay in a reasonable price range. Now, this XL also comes with really cool steely wheels. I absolutely adore them. However, the level of equipment is a bit naked. The sweet spot of the lineup is the XLT, the trim right over that, which gives you a bit more accessories without going too high in the price range. That's where I would stop with the Maverick. I wouldn't go any higher. If you do, you're going to be ending up in mid-size territory. You might as well just go get a Ford Ranger. You'll just get more capability out of the vehicle. That being said, it's not because the Maverick is small and based on a car that it's not capable. Now, this drivetrain is more urban friendly. This is a front-wheel drive version. Yes, a front-wheel drive pickup truck that's powered by a hybrid powertrain. It is arguably the most interesting powertrain in the lineup because it's super fuel efficient. I mean, you'll easily get under 7 liters per 100 kilometers in this thing. Underneath the hood is a hybrid 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. This is essentially the same drivetrain as in a Ford Escape hybrid. It pumps out just over 190 combined horsepower, and it's mated to a CVT. Yes, a CVT, a continuously variable transmission in a pickup truck. So it's not very brawny. Don't expect to tow too much with this vehicle. I mean, you're maxed out at 2,000 pounds. However, for somebody who uses it for urban use, who basically need the practicality of an SUV but prefer the openness of having a box like a pickup truck, this works. The next drivetrain is a much more compelling one. It's a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. That one pumps out 250 horsepower and a bit more than 270 foot-pounds of torque. Now, that's much more potent, and when you equip that engine with the tow package, you'll be able to pull up to 4,000 pounds. So I mean, the little Maverick is not so bad. 4,000 pounds is a good heft. It's a good amount of weight. You'll be able to tow a small jet ski or a camper, or, I mean, it's good enough to go about doing your small truck business. Now, this hybrid powertrain is fine. It's not very quick, but it's not painfully slow neither. When you floor it, there's that stupid CVT doing its thing, but then it throws the engine up in the peak of its power band, and because you've got electric motors assisting it, the torque delivery is rather quick and instant. I mean, there's good power down low, and it's enough to get it going rather swiftly. The driving dynamics are also rather impressive. This is by far the best handling pickup truck I've ever driven because it's based on a car. So this means that the Maverick has quick turn-in. It's surprisingly precise in its reflexes. Okay, it's top heavy, and this one is not fitted with a sports suspension, but it does go around an apex rather well, making it quite peppy and rather enjoyable to drive. I can see myself daily driving this thing all year long. It just feels so joyful and so happy. Just like my Mini Cooper, I love cars like that, cars that make me happy when I drive them. However, that being said, there's something about this platform. I'm assuming that it's because it's based on a small car platform that makes it very jagged on bumpy roads. It's bouncy and stiff, so when you're driving on an imperfect road, it's not going to be the most comfortable ride, and it feels immature. It feels a tad juvenile. But that works with its styling. I mean, this thing looks absolutely goofy, and that's another reason why it's so darn adorable. At the end of the day, what sells is a low price and great fuel economy, and the Ford Maverick does all of that. It's Ford's most affordable vehicle, it's Ford's most fuel efficient vehicle, and it also somehow redefines our perception of what a pickup truck can be. Sure, it's not very strong, and in this hybrid powertrain, you're not going to be able to tow much, but some consumers need precisely this. From a marketing standpoint, this vehicle is absolutely brilliant and will at least allow the Maverick name to be remembered for something better than the awful car from the 1970s.